For a majority of the zombies community, Darren Fang has ran its course and is now boring, well, more than it was, and a lot of people have been going back to play previous zombies games and even some of the more underrated ones like Black Ops 4, and now they're saying that they're good, almost as though they were good the entire time. Anyway, I'm interested to see what happens with DLC1 and Vanguard zombies and what I want to see, and hopefully you do too. But leave a comment on what you want to see in DLC1 and watch it get stolen by Treyarch because they definitely watch my videos. With the map most likely set in the Ether story, unless for some reason they bring back Chaos, we need to see the Raygun. Some variation of it has been in every single Ether map except from Darren Fang. The Raygun is a staple in Ether zombies, and has always been a decent weapon you can rely on, some versions more than others. Aside from that, it's a weapon that new players can look for knowing it's good without knowing what weapons in that game are busted. The setup of a zombies map is usually the most memorable thing, as every time you play the map, you have to do it unless you're doing some sort of challenge or you're a noob. A good setup for power can be as simple as flicking a switch, but it means you have a target for the early rounds. It can also be more complicated like the Zetsubo no Shima power setup, and as much as it pains me to say this, the Zetsubo no Shima power setup isn't that good, and I hope that we don't see something like it again. With Pack-a-Punch, hopefully it isn't easy as just turn on power and you get it, but a little bit more difficult with Zetsubo no Shima being a perfect example, as you don't need to sweat your balls off to get 100 different parts like Shadows of Evil, or be very fast and very lucky like in Transit, but there's still a decent challenge to get it, and you need to have a bit of knowledge of the map or be a good zombies player. A good location for a map can make a hell of a lot of difference. When you have a basic bitch of a location like a house, no hate to all two of the World War II zombies fans, the map gets boring faster than Azura deleting a YouTube channel. With the map most likely set in Germany near the end of the war, it would be pretty sick for it to be during the Battle of Berlin. Now, you may be asking, what does this guy know about history? And to answer that question, a little bit, considering I didn't even take National 5 history, but I do have the internet, so that means I know everything about it. The Battle of Berlin was the Soviets' final push into Nazi Germany, and it ended with Hitler and many other Nazis' death. Germany and the Soviet Union had a metric shit ton of weapons, and their fight could be going on in the background with planes ahead and tanks passing by, and even some traps like a tank blasting zombies or a plane passing by guns blazing. And with Germany having zombies on their side, you could even see some soldiers getting killed and reanimated instead of them coming out of the ground. We could even see Hitler as a zombie, which would pay tribute to the myth that if you get to round 50 on World at War Nacht, you could fight zombie Hitler, similar to how Space Dog was added to the Moon remaster as a tribute to that myth. With the battle going on, the map could have some interesting ways for fast travel, such as riding a Soviet tank while gunning down zombies with the tank's crew. The outside of the map could also change with the progression of rounds or the Easter egg, with the Red Army encircling the city and taking it as they did in 1945, or even an alternate history with the Nazis winning the Battle of Berlin as they have the power of zombies. All of this is just hopeful thinking and will probably be useless after they release it and have it have nothing to do with the Battle of Berlin. It would be cool to see a map set during the Battle of Berlin, even if it wasn't for DLC 1, as Darren Fang does take place about a year before the Battle of Berlin, but it wouldn't be the first time Treyarch has done a time jump. Since Black Ops 4, every game has had a very similar point system where there is a set amount of points per kill. In Vanguard, to get a triple packed weapon and all of your perks, it costs 127,500 points, which is a lot. With Darren Fang, you get points for each objective and it increases with the rounds, so in the later rounds you get a lot for a single objective. With round-based maps, as there's no other way to get points, you would need to kill a fuckload of zombies, and with SMGs and other weak weapons being useless, it would be good to see the old point system return so that weaker weapons actually have a use, and it would also balance out the insane price for everything. In previous games, the player setup cost only about 19,000 points for everything. Any ideas on how we can make it worse and more frustrating to get? How about we make it so you get a maximum of 30 points per kill and your setup costs more than 100,000 points? Fucking hell, Terry, you're a genius. Why didn't we do that before? Easter eggs are a very important part of a zombies map, and they give you something to do if you don't want to go for high rounds. They should be solo accessible, unlike Mob of the Dead and Shadows of Evil, as they straight up couldn't be done solo, but also not barely able to do solo like Blood of the Dead. Fuck that Morse code step. A bit more of a challenge than the Cold War Easter eggs would be appreciated, as they were a bit too easy, but also a little bit easier than Blood of the Dead, and that'll probably give you a good middle ground, as you can't do everything while playing with your feet, but you also don't need to have every single guide ever made for the map to even stand a slight chance. But thank you for watching the video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to drop a like for more. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't for more zombies content, and I'll see you in the next one.